record to the cloud.
Okay, welcome to the March 26th, 2024 session of Clementine Tangerine Hamside technical session. My name is Dave, KV0S, and this week I did not go to the meeting, but worked on things here. So that's been most of what I've been up to this week. Um, anyway, so next on the list we have Nathaniel, W2 NAF. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Thanks, Dave. Yes, I have been. We ran the Hamside workshop this weekend. I think it went really well. I was extremely happy with it. Thank you for everyone who participated. Um, the other big thing I got today was I got a whole house backup generator installed at my house today. I wanted to get that in before the eclipse. So now, if there's a power outage, which can happen out here in the woods, it just the UPSs take over and then the backup generator will kick in and it's all tied into our propane. It's very nice. So I'm very excited about that. And then Paul, I have your Whisper sound right over here. I my friend that I'm hoping to site it at his house came over this morning and I showed it to him and we're working out a couple of things. Um I ordered an end fed half wave end fed dipole or antenna from DX Engineering for him. I got
Okay.
one that was shortened. It's the junior size, so I guess it has a an extra inductor on it, so it makes it only like 70 or 80 feet. But he said that would fit in his driveway, and then we're going to try to set it up. He's going to bring a Raspberry Pi over. I'm going to try to set it up so I can so I can SSH into the Raspberry Pi and then connect in through Minicom because my friend's technically only a technician, so that way I can remotely control it, and that way, and then it'll be at
And
his
be
house.
be legal on all the bands and you never know, you might want to do something too. No,
Yes.
that sounds good. And the antennas are, unless the SWR is truly terrible, um, the the box doesn't really care. Obviously ERP is going to depend on the antenna to
Yeah.
a great extent actually, but it's probably going to be just fine. So that sounds
Yeah.
quite reasonable.
Yeah, no, but he's pretty excited about getting involved in this. So I think he's very happy to help with this. So that is in progress. And I got your message about getting you the configuration file. And my plan is to do that once I get the Raspberry Pi configured. And then
Yeah,
I'll
no, there's no rush. It's just
yeah.
if I'd been smart, I would have just, grabbed a copy while we were setting it up. But,
Yeah.
I want to make sure if there's a problem, I can see the file and, maybe it's something I did wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
Get some ideas.
Yeah. So that's where I am. And then we've had some discussions about where the Clementine might go next, and I think those discussions are still in progress. So W2NAF back to net.
Okay, fine business. And next on the list we have Mike, 8A8 AA8K. Sorry.
That's
Where do
easy
you
for you.
guys get these weird call signs? I don't get it.
It's metric. It's backwards.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Uh, Greetings to everyone listening. Back to you, Dave.
Okay. Um, next on the list is Dave, KD0EAG. Go ahead, Dave.
Hi, I'm just trying to catch up with the odds and ends that have been dangling since I got home. Nothing greatly exciting except hopefully I hooked up the two more channels to the Whisper Sond beacon blaster. I don't know how well configured it is or how well it's getting out, but I did see some people had picked up. And otherwise I'm trying to catch up with these other things and do some serious thinking about the Clementine and a whole slew of other little odds and ends. That's it for me.
Very good. Next on the list is Jim, K4 BSE. Go ahead, Jim.
Good evening, all. Well, I've been working on this presentation on AMSI that I'm going to do to our club down here. And as usual, I'm learning a lot more than anybody else. I finally got around today to plotting one day's worth of the magnetometer readings, which I had never looked at before. And by gum, there are some things going on there, aren't there?
Yep.
Particularly in the later afternoon UTC here, I've noticed it. And let's see, I want to make sure of one other thing to bug you, Nathaniel, just for a second. I am making the point that what the ionosphere does to radio is more accurately described as a refraction than a reflection, is it not?
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. I decided to make that point, and I wanted to make sure I was saying it correctly.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Thank you. Back to Ned.
Okay. Next on the list is the Sleepy Michael AC0G.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, as I said, I've been up since 5 and working all day and got home, and my wife kindly had a little bit of salmon and salad for dinner. And a glass of wine. I'm checked into the Raspberry Pi that is connected to the Whisper Sound that Dave connected. I think the 15-meter signal is, I've seen it being picked up. The couple of looks I've just had, I'm not sure about 10 meters, and I'm going to do the offset calculation that you advised me about before, Paul, so I can send that to Gwyn, so he'll have accurate offsets for his frequency analyses. I arrived home and found a mini Bodnar and a B-Link, and today I got home and there was 2 RX 888s, so I'm set up for a little bit of extra play time. I have not yet got the receiver set up that I've installed at my mother's house restarted yet. I have to bug my sister or my niece who live up there to see if they can go to grandma's house and hit the restart button to see if that 888 appears back on the net again. And I had a long conversation with Brett this afternoon as I was driving home about Orange Pi, and he filled me in on some of the hassles associated with that, and I'm inclined at this point to put that on a back burner. It might still be possible, but it will require some negotiations with the people who have written the hack, as it turns out, that the Linux kernel is on the Orange Pi. The Orange Pi was never apparently originally designed to be a Linux device. So the Linux kernel that runs on it is a hack, and there's a bunch of politics associated with why it's not working. One of which was that the company who makes the chip apparently took the code that had been hacked and stripped any reference to the people who had actually done the hack and distributed it as if it was theirs, and then proceeded not to support it. So anyway, it's one of these bizarre things. And as it turns out, Rob sent an email that he'd spoken with Nathaniel, and that the challenge is more to get something that's an American-made machine, at least for one iteration of what we were talking about. I guess that's enough for now. I would really like to return to that WWV, WWVH discrimination problem, because that's really more about educating me than anything else. But back to Nat.
Okay. Next on the list, we have Paul Elliott. Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. I've got nothing. I just wanted to check in, say hi to everybody, and as always with the beacon blasters or whisper sons, anybody has any issues or questions or suggestions, you know, I'd love to hear about it. Consider me a resource for whatever that's going to be worth. It sounds like we're going to be having some unfilled requirements for different antenna configurations, different antennas, different bands, and, the couple combiners I do have now, are obviously not going to suit every permutation. So I'm looking forward to talking with you guys about what it is you need. And, maybe I'll be able to, I'm trying to come up with a superset solution, but I'm sure there are going to be a lot of, let's call them point or single band solutions as well. So, but I don't want to, get too far down that path until there are too many permutations to do them just plain all at once. So I want to hear from you guys, the guys that are actually using these things in different locations. Let me know what it is you need, and then we'll see if we can figure out the best combination. It's probably, and also I'm gonna want to hear if some of you are willing to, what there could be a kit, where toroids and kind of like a like the QDX, like QRP Labs, a bag of capacitors and some wire and some cores and connectors and a blank circuit board, and you guys mix and match and solder them down. Got to wind your own toroid, something like that. It would be actually pretty easy to meet a whole bunch of whatever frequency you want. Here's how you do it, and if that's interesting to enough people, I'd be really interested, because that means I don't have to wind the stupid toroids myself. So just give me feedback, or just not even feedback. Any ideas? I'd love to hear about them. And that's it. Go ahead.
Mike says it works for him.
Hey, well, that's one. Maybe one's enough, because it's sure easier to design a circuit board than wind a bunch of toroids. I've had practice doing both. And again, everybody that's hosting a Whispersond or a Beacon Blaster, I guess the Beacon Blaster is now the Whispersond 6. But anyway, I just like to thank you. It's really gratifying and interesting to see how that's going to be working for everybody. So just keep me in the loop. I really appreciate it. And back to Net.
Very good. Next on the list is, let's call him Tom Yarnish. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Worked with Rob for a long time on some of the basic Whisper projects. I'm kind of a fly on the wall. I guess you could call me a member of the ever-growing and burgeoning Whisper Demon groupie. And I was just following along the crumbs from this morning's CATS meeting with these guys, and hoping to pick up some more crumbs about the HAMSI event over the weekend, which sounds like it was wildly successful. Don't have much to add, except that I have the basic 888 and B-Link set up here, and I was highly flattered to see my data in one of Rob's presentations. So I guess that's as much as I can hope for. Here in Northern California, and using a beverage antenna with quite a bit of success, and waiting for more projects to emerge from the madhouse that we call our coffee cats group. Back to Net.
Very good. Okay, well then now we have Rob Robinette. So comments, Rob?
Hi, hello everyone. Let's see. I have thank you all for, and especially Nathaniel, for that nice award. That was really a surprise. It's I don't know if you can see it sitting in the background there, but it's
yes,
is propped up on the wall. I have returned with trying to get all of these systems up, and the Whisper Demon Grave systems up and contributing. So I need to, KFS is not fully functional, and I need to build the little interface boards that Paul is designed, and I think he's going to have fabricated, but probably not in time for me to have a KF to put, not before the eclipse. So I need to do a little soldering, which is a slow process. But before doing that, I had a bunch of Whisper Daemon things. As we've deployed these Whisper Daemon grape systems, I've encountered various error conditions that I didn't handle well. So I spent the time today addressing those issues. I think the error conditions are now handled. And I'm trying to get John on 6 meters, John Ackerman, who isn't with us, I guess. But
Nope.
I think that I want to, once again, I'm being defeated by the K9Q use of multicast. There are I can't find his signals on the and it's just this addressing team is a real challenge for me, I think, and for many, that using multicast is elegant and but very difficult to use at this point. If I've configured John wants to, I think, record a 6 meter beacon. He's going to put up a 6 meter beacon and record it, or someone's going to put up a 6 meter beacon on, I don't know if it's Whisper or just a single channel. And I'm trying to help him, John, configure it. And it's a Radio Daemon problem. Radio D is my challenge. Anyway, there's probably a bunch of other things, but back to net, we can talk about. I think we might want to talk about, I guess, the Clementine and the efforts. I think Dave and Michael, I kind of commissioned you guys to work on something. I want to be sure that what you do is productive. So back to net for now.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's everybody that's on the list. So we're open for general discussion.
Rob, are you still able to send me a modified RX-888?
Yes, I will.
Great.
Okay, I have 2 of them here. And
if
one
you
of
want
them,
me if you want me to send you an unmodified RX-888, I've got 2 brand new ones coming in sometime this week.
Okay.
So I can send one back to you.
Okay. Well, I have one that's modified that has been working. And see, maybe I better check it out. It does. These do require external clocks, so
as luck would have it, I have 3 mini Bodners brand new in the box right here.
Okay. Well, I need to. What I have to do is, that's good because you need one, but I need to make these attenuator and isolator boards.
It's fun. It's funny. I just happen to have 3 on my desk.
Okay, so do you have? So you have, but you should be cautious about connecting now. Is one of your triple eights? Is it the one you have already modified?
No.
Okay, so you need a. Did I give you? Okay, so you have none at the moment.
I have
none.
I have no modified 888s.
Okay,
as far as I understand.
Okay, and you're planning to deploy one.
Yes.
For the eclipse. Okay. Well,
that's right.
Okay. Well, then, the quickest way is for me probably to take this one and verify that it's working and ship it out to you. What are you going to attach it to?
I have a Core i7 Ubuntu machine sitting in the computer with at least 16 gigs of RAM.
That's all you need. Yeah, that's fine.
Great. I also have 2 B-links in the mail just in case.
Okay, but you probably any i5 or i7 will suffice. And what's your antenna?
I have an 80-meter off center fed dipole.
Okay, well, that'll work fine.
I have it.
Did I
I
give, I
have a
gave you a filter, right? I gave you one of Paul's filters.
yes. I have the filter.
And
Yes.
do you have an LNA in case you need it?
I do.
Okay,
I don't. I do have an LNA if in case I need it.
okay. And you have if you have the USB, a blue USB cord that came with your 888, right? So I don't need to.
Yeah. I will have. I've got two new 888s coming. So if I can't find a blue USB cord lying around, which I should, I'll get.
Okay,
I can pull
okay,
one out of the other boxes.
okay. Well, okay. Well, that's pretty
Yeah.
much what you need.
I have a 24 port HF splitter that I attached to that I set up yesterday, and it is connected to my Kiwi SDR.
24 port. This is an R high frequency splitter.
Yes,
I
it's
mean an R.
a mini circuits.
No, is this passive or active?
It's passive. But I
Did
try.
you say 24? Did you say 24 or
Yeah,
4?
24. So last night I put it on. I tried putting an LNA. I have an advanced receiver research
Mhm,
LNA that I tried putting in ahead of it, and it looked
mhm.
like it just saturated my Kiwi SDR. So I ended up taking that out. But I could put that in if we think it's necessary.
Well,
And
a 24 port passive splitter would have on the order of 16 dB or 20 dB of loss input to output.
yeah,
Yeah, and your LNA is likely not to have much more gain than that.
I mean, just looking at the Kiwi SDR display and looking at grape um the grape displays, it looked like it was doing pretty well.
Well,
I
if you
would
didn't have
think
anything else hooked up to it,
Yeah.
if you,
what is, I mean, do you have it there now?
Yeah, I'm
Why don't
trying.
you just share the screen with us? Is it on this machine you're talking to us on?
Yeah. Yeah, let me.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Okay,
yes,
so click on the double out arrows underneath the LSB and zoom out to 0 to 30.
0 to
That,
30.
that's to the left of that. Yeah, that one. Now press the S key on your keyboard and press, now go down and you can press Y, the Y key 2 times. Okay, now go down in the lower right-hand corner where it says IIR, click the down arrow and select EMA. That's exponential moving average.
Okay.
And to the left, you might as well do the same thing for the EMA. Select EMA where it says off, turn where it says off, yes, select EMA. 2 averages, go to the left and select auto, select manual. Then go click auto scale.
Where's auto
I'll
scale?
go up to the right, go to the right and up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, I got to get your yeah, you're not you don't look very close to overloading. It's a pretty decent. Looks like it's just a resonant antenna. You seem to have a dip in your noise for around
Yeah,
22 megahertz. So it looks like that.
it's an 80-meter off center fed, so it's gonna be, I guess.
It's gonna have some resonances, yeah.
Yeah.
But as you can see, the matching in a receive antenna isn't all that critical.
Right.
It looks like you have RFI up at 28 megahertz. So if and it looks like you have some. That looks a lot like if you click up there and go into AM mode. Click on AM down on. Okay. There you are. Now you're at minus 103 in an AM band. So that's take 40 dB off of that. So you're in 143, minus 143 in 1 hertz, which is pretty noisy since you should be, if the band's closed, you should be at minus, 160. Click on the above audio. There's 2 arrows that point at each other.
Above audio.
Go to the left
Okay, right
up,
there.
right there. That zooms in. It'll go in. Now click the minus search thing just to the left of it and zoom out a little bit. A little bit more. Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's doesn't look like, I mean, what it is, 2.2, 2.6, it's, 60 kilohertz between those. Is that right? Did I get that right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 64 kilohertz. That's between your those RFI peaks. Zoom out a little bit more. No, it's the minus search arrow. That's all the way out. That's all. Yeah, the one to the right is all the way in. Well, that's fine. Yeah. Go out a little bit more. Let's see what.
Looks
So
like
you could,
switcher or something, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks like some kind of a 60 kilohertz switcher overload. Yes, and it's not LAN noise because that's that you usually see double peaks. Those are pretty broad. So by the time they get up, if you go down to you can zoom out a little more. Yeah, you see, so that's pretty typical of a switching power supply leaking into your system. It's almost certainly not from your antenna. It's almost certainly it comes from the ground loop in your receive distribution. But it's not so bad. Those are pretty low. If you click on the peak of one of them and just to see what the signal level is, it's you got these little 10 dB peaks there. So it's something that'd be good to be rid of, but it's probably not a major impediment to your. In general, it looks like you have a pretty decent receive environment.
Oh,
If you
by the
keep-
way, that splitter looks like it's got a spec attenuation of between 14.5 dB per port. So just FYI, that's what you're working with.
Yeah. So now, Nathaniel, if you open the admin page for your QE,
Yeah.
you click on 8073 and put /admin, copy and paste it in.
Now I have to remember my password.
Aren't you on the same LAN as the receiver, as the Kiwi, or you're on a different LAN?
No, I'm on the same LAN.
Well, then if you should, the Kiwi would shouldn't
There we
require
go.
passive. Okay, there you are. So let's go over and click on control and scroll down. Keep going.
That's as far as it goes.
Okay. Then that looks okay. Go over to connect. Well, not config is the one that really connect won't tell us much. Yeah, let's see. Scroll down there. You are in external. You're not external, and that's okay. So that's good. Your Kiwi will be reasonably accurate, but you'll have okay. So then go back up, scroll up, and scroll over. Let's look at your GPS signals. Well, you don't have any GPS, so your frequencies are going to be.
Aren't these GPS over here?
There's no. Do you have a GPS antenna attached to your Kiwi?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Let me see. Creep one. GPS TRF. Let me. Okay, this is
Also, I'll go over there and okay, we'll do something. Uncheck
here. Hold on.
Q.
I
No, no,
can
no.
get.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Before you do anything,
yeah.
do this. Go and uncheck QZSS. There's a blue checkbox up there.
I think I can put it
Okay,
dramatically.
go click on acquire if Kiwi is busy. Check that. Okay, the rest of that's okay. You may start to see signals appear now.
Okay. If you
Okay.
hang on, if you hang on 1 second,
Mhm.
I think I can get a dramatically better antenna hooked up here really quickly. I think I just need to grab a jumper cable.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, while he's gone, we can Vector. I took a detour, Michael, and I rewrote enhanced that SSR. I've got so tired of searching for all the who's on. I need to do the same thing for the TMUX thing so that you don't have to type all that stuff. Search what you're
Okay.
gonna. But you should be able to just put that in you'll have to kind of re-log in or reload that .ssr .sh file. And
All right. You emailed it to me?
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I am here.
Okay.
I'm just under my bench here. I have it hooked up to a Huck GPS antenna that's inside the building right now, but I do have a external timing antenna connected to a splitter here that I should be able to. That should work, I think.
Yeah, what you have now is not giving you anything.
Right. Well, I don't have an antenna connected now.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing connected at the moment. All
Okay.
right. And now, hold on, I am connecting. Should start seeing. All right. I now have. It's now connected to the external antenna.
Yeah, you got to re-log in to your.
Server has closed connection.
It
Okay.
does that. You just hit the refresh button and you're on it right now. What in the world? What's your Kiwi's IP address? You can use that instead of
the.
if you
I have
yeah.
to. Did I bump? Oh, what is going on? It's blinking. Database.
It looks like we didn't do that. I hope they're okay. Did you maybe power cycle the Kiwi?
I might have power
By
cycled
accident.
the queue.
By
Yeah.
accident, yeah.
Right.
And it just hit the refresh a couple of times. And if it's coming up, he delays his startup by 60 seconds. So after Linux comes up, there you go. That looks better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll help you. Well, in many ways, that's a good looking signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good looking actually.
It's connected to a way better antenna now.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious. Okay, go back to config. Let's see, where is this? Go oh yeah, S meter overload. You see that S meter ovo down there? There's a slider a little farther down. There's a slider. Slide that to the left and put it like at 16 or something. Yeah. Just and that looks fine. let's see, extensions, console. I don't think anything else needs to really be fixed. If you click on network, you see that the private IP address 192.168.11.83. If your host computer is on the same network,
Yeah.
does that it will the Kiwi should not ask you for a password.
Oh, okay.
Just that. Oh, one other thing, update. Go over to the update tab
The update.
to the left
Where-
of network, up. Yeah, there. I would say do not automatically install software. Turn that off. Set that to no. And the other to automatically install, set to no. Click on check now right now. Okay, you have the most current version. Then good. Stop right here. Yeah, that's good. You don't. There's the version 1.666 was a problem. So it's okay. So your Kiwi's in pretty good shape. If you go back now and look at your Kiwi's settings, I have to refresh that since it's and I go all the way out again to the 0 to 30. That's all the way in, and that's all the way out.
That one.
And Y, and S.
Wait, wait, why?
And S. You want to get rid of, you get rid of, Y gets rid of that DX thing in the middle.
Oh, okay.
It's just occupies space. Well, you're not, do you have an AM filter in front of this thing?
No.
Well, you don't have anything very close. Then you don't have a transmitter. That's pretty, you are one of the sites most free of AM. So, you can go in and look. These just don't take the waterfall or the spectrum as being dogma. I mean, there's a lot of aliasing in those bins. There's no, filtering on each of the frequency bins, so there can be a lot of interference. But it looks like that you have a very strong signal at 2.5. That might be WWV even. Nope, not. Zoom back out a little bit. Click on the minus. Well, that's all the way out. Yeah.
This thing over here.
Yeah, that thing over there is. I don't know, pretty ugly. I don't know what it is. It's hard to tell from here.
Yeah, it's
Slow down the averages. Set average, the slider for averages to 2.
the slider for averages.
It says 8 averages down near the bottom.
Okay.
And slide it to the left to 2. Yeah, that's a. Go click on the minus and zoom out a little bit. See what else we got.
Looks like 2.5 is in there though. It looks like a carrier.
Yeah, but I don't know what. So you could hit the Y and the DX chart might tell you what it is, but it could be pretty broad. It doesn't look like it looks more like RFI than.
Yeah, it sounds like a hum.
Yeah, it looks like you've got. Okay. That's it. Yeah, it sure does. Well, that sounds like it has some 60 hertz in it. So that looks like a source of RFI. Zoom out one more step, minus. Even for, yeah, let's see. Is there a harmonic of it around 5 megahertz?
Wasn't able to find harmonica around 5 megahertz in your Apple Music library. Search on
Siri, pick that up.
It did.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
No, it isn't. Okay. But I was going to
We're
say if
looking
there's
around 5
I was,
megahertz, right?
yeah, I was just going to say if you went up to you can zoom out a bit if you want, just rather than yeah, it looks like that looks like you have an RFI source. It looks like those are two harmonics, the same thing, yeah. That's WWV, obviously. So
Yeah.
if you zoom out and zoom out a bit and move your passband into what appears to be a dead band. Oh, that's not to the. You don't have one to the left or the right. It's,
What was the actual frequency of that 2.5 hum noise? I mean, we just go right to 2 times
yeah,
that and 3 times that.
yeah. It was right above 2.5, so I would expect to see it 2.510. So it'd be 5.20.
Yeah, just look at that stuff up there at 2.52 there.
Yeah,
That's
So,
probably it. It looks like the same stuff. What's it sound like?
it's
um,
now you're down at it's in kilohertz. So
yeah.
it wouldn't be 5.2. It'd be 5.002. That'd be the second harmonic. There it is.
Yeah. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Let's listen to it if we can. I'm just curious. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
it's either some
yeah.
switcher solar regulator, some, or else it's
You
aliens.
you got an in-house inverter.
Um, an in-house inverter?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's a UPS on your UPS. It's
Yeah, yes. I have UPSs all over in this room.
it
I
might
mean,
be.
it could be anything and anywhere, but it's probably fairly local. About the only way to, track these things down is just start unplugging stuff, turning
Yeah,
things off and then turning them back on
Yeah.
slowly and
Yeah.
paying attention while you do it.
yeah,
And again, if it's not overloading your system, if it's
Yeah.
not right on top of some signal you're trying to
Yeah.
receive,
It's not.
it's not really going to hurt things.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just. Yeah. If you're
yeah,
might be a problem for 30-meter band reception maybe. But uh, it doesn't look like it would land on. It doesn't look like it would land on 40 or 20. So anyway, okay. Well, it looks like you'll do decent. You'll do a decent job with the your 888, and I don't see any evidence of overloading. The overload button isn't coming on. You're not close to overload at all.
yeah,
I mean, what's the strongest signal? If you go back, zoom all the way out. And then pick what appears to be the strongest signal, like, that one at 6. There's a group of broadcast band signals at 6.
mm-hmm.
So just click on that and plus 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 and find the strongest one. Uh, you can pick one that looks. I mean, that one right there, right above 6, looks like he's a pretty strong. So if you zero in on him, and
Mira,
Yeah, I mean,
tengo amigos que viven en Rusia, colegas
yeah,
que siguen
come on,
trabajando
man.
en los
Yeah,
medios en
yeah,
Rusia. Y todos
yeah.
saben que para escribir una nota, para publicar algo,
Yeah.
la tienes que pasar por un departamento. Ellos le
Looks like, what, minus 46, around that area. So you're 20 dB below overload there. So the sum of all these, you got a nice DRM signal there on the right. It's 609. Switch to DRM mode and listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, these are well, as you guys know, these will change over the 24-hour period and then some, but right now it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, that's
Should I be hearing something?
I'm not hearing anything. No.
I said, should I be hearing something?
I don't know. I've never used this. 607. No. No. You're. I don't. These are all. This is a new feature of the. Okay. Well, anyway, you look like you'll do fine there. I don't see if you have overloading. I mean, you are, pumping a lot of the actual signals coming out of your LNA are 16 dB higher than these. So that means that we're looking, if you're seeing a minus 43 signal there, it's actually coming out of the LNA at 33 on a minus 27. It seems still well below, an overload point for an LNA. So your LNA probably is introducing, it isn't introducing.
I'm not using an LNA right now.
You have no LNA. You have
There's
16
no.
dB. Oh, I thought you said you'd had one in front of this.
I put one in temporarily yesterday, but I just saw the waterfall. It looked like everything was overloading. I just turned it off,
Yeah.
and it looked much better. So I just said,
yes. You're
okay.
this is about the right level. You wouldn't, you might benefit from an extra 10 dB gain up at the top, but you've got the, if you go all the way, click up by, at 28 megahertz.
Up
This
here?
is where, up there, if you click up there and then you zoom in all the way, you can hit the zoom in buttons. That's the quickest way. Here, you can get out of the DRM mode. That does not sound like white noise. Turn on the sound and see what it sounds like. Get away, get between those. Get between those. Even that doesn't sound, that sounds like.
Is the receiver squelching, low-level squelch or something right now?
I don't know. I think that's that's what we're hearing is the whatever the switcher is drifting all over the place, and it's introducing this.
Okay, so it's switcher noise lower level than the spiky area, but in between it, there's still something probably.
Once you get up to the 100th harmonic of a 50 kilohertz switcher, it drifts a few hertz, and then at the high frequencies it drifts all over the place, and it kind of visually looks like you're looking at atmospheric noise, but in fact, if you listen to it like we just now, it's clearly not atmospheric noise. It has frequencies, and if you were to record it and run a FFT on the noise, quote noise, you'd see there'll be 160 hertz or 120 hertz, and it's and multiples are in there, so it's a but you're sensitive enough that you're looking at you're seeing some I don't know if that's FT8 right and over there on the left. So if you hit the Y button, I think it brings up, yeah, that's the FT8 channel, and you're sitting right on Whisper is right between the two worst of these two. So it'd be good to get rid of it, but I think there are probably other more important things for you to work on.
Mhm. This will be the 10-year plan.
Hey,
Okay.
there
Nice.
is radio after the eclipse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
So
I'm
okay. So
gonna sign off, guys. I'll
It's
okay.
not
see
the
you.
same.
Okay.
Thank you,
Take care.
Michael.
Thank you,
Thanks for
bye.
joining us. Okay. Well, you're in good shape there.
Okay, great.
Okay. So I owe you a 888. You'll have it by the end of the week. So
Thanks. You have my address, right?
I'm not sure I do, but
Um,
you
I
want
will.
to email it to me just so you.
Yeah, probably best thing to do is um send it. I'm debating if you should have it sent. If you send it to the university, it's going to be drier, but the university is closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
How is USPS at delivery?
Yeah, you can send it to my call book address using
That's what I usually do. Usually,
yeah.
yeah, I'll put it. I put it in these padded envelopes, which are plastic, and
Okay.
they'll be sealed up against the moisture.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
just send it to my call book address.
okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good. Uh, I, um, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm chatting with to John Ackerman.
Yeah, I've been chatting with John Ackerman too, and he sent out some emails today, and I think he misunderstood me a little bit, because he was I said I wanted 6 phase synchronized channels, phase coherent channels, and that's true, but I didn't necessarily want them all going. They didn't have to all go through the same USB stream. So what's that?
I wondered what exactly, yeah, I wanted to verify with you what,
Yeah.
because he
What
was asking me if it could be done, and I,
what I was envisioning was a way of daisy chaining RX-880 or whatever this Clementine thing is together. Can even if you have a Clementine that puts out just one channel, can you chain them together, chain the clocks together so that you can have as many as you want, all be phase coherent? Is that possible?
There's no coherence in them. Okay,
They will be frequency.
they'll be frequency accurate, but
They
the
won't be
actual
coherent.
sample, yeah. What we have been considering that how to synchronize a phase lock of a group of triple eights.
Mm-hmm.
One approach that I there has been there's an just recently expired patent on this technique is to introduce a known stimulus to all of the antennas at once,
Mm-hmm.
and then have the receive software
Mm-hmm.
identify this impulse event, and
Mm-hmm.
use that in the incoming stream to determine the relative offsets and just adjust the delay uh, uh, among them. We've talked with Phil about doing this,
Right.
and I think I mean there's this Kraken SDR project that used that technique with a block um, of RTL SDRs to be able to synthesize aperture and direction among a
Right.
ring of so it seems like they were able to do that with with the the RTL SDRs.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible to do that, and I think that would be and if you had a stimulus signal that appeared on all of the antennas, you would compensate for differences in transmission lines and all of these other things that introduce a
You're basically like
variability.
able to characterize every path,
Yeah,
every receive path independently.
yes, yes. So that would to me would be the most elegant is
But that's if all your receivers are truly co-located. Is that what you're
no, well,
considering today?
no, the whole point is that they don't have to be. If you
Well,
have
then you need a common
eh,
synchronized signal. So now we're talking about time of flight, essentially, type of measurements, or
actually, it might come out of, it's a good point. It might fall out of the time of flight modulation project.
well, because
Is
to
that
do that, you need to control time of launch, and I mean, how far ahead, if we're talking about something we can do, next year, then maybe the pieces will all be in place within the kind of systems we're considering now.
I hadn't really thought of that, but yes, if you had a mini time of flight transmitter, I, that then you could put that out at some known location, you say equidistant from the antennas, or at some relative known distance from all the antennas. So you knew where the antennas were, the receive antennas were. You have a transmit antenna, and then it's emitting this signal. And among its the other things that that Phil's software would do would be it would look for those little local transmissions, knowing how far they are, the distance from that micro transmitter to each of the receive antennas. He could figure out the time delays, and
Well,
and adjust for everything. It would be super elegant.
But we get that for free if we do, Whisper version 10, or name something new, like we've been
Yeah.
talking about with Phil,
Yeah.
using the new whatever new modulation scheme we can use with the relaxed symbol
Yeah.
with period requirements, and then you've got time of launch, and you can measure time of flight, and
Yeah.
everybody, we've got to have them locked, within a microsecond or something to a GPS reference. But then everybody all over the world can launch at a known time.
Well,
And then the receivers, wherever they are, they will be receiving with time synchronized, down to the level of, what the modulation can support. And that's going to be on the order of, I was talking with Phil about this.
I
We're talking about, 10, 100 microseconds, better than the millisecond anyway.
Yeah, but that's not good enough to do the aperture though.
No, it's not.
You really want to get the transmission chain delay to be within ideally within a sample time.
Okay, well that's one hell of a signal you're launching then.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's
have
a
to
very broad a tick that's gonna.
It'd have to
well,
be.
let's say it wouldn't be ham legal,
No, but maybe if it, but since it's nearby, maybe you could do a megahertz wide, signal from a micro transmitter that would allow for that kind of sample level accuracy. Anyway,
Okay.
it's an interesting concept. Anyway,
Well, I mean,
that's the
you
idea,
don't even-
Nathaniel.
What techniques have been used over the years by the radio astronomy, the long baseline interferometry people? Wanted widely separate. It's kind of history now, but they, back in the day when they didn't even have good signal synchronization, like it wasn't anywhere near as easy as it is for us. But it was always a problem that interested me, was how do you build multiple wire antennas?
Hey, the point of this, Nathaniel, is we've been thinking about it. And the easiest, the solution is to have of course, in all cases, you have to have the same clock feeding all of the receivers. But but beyond that, the question is how do you determine the absolute delay time through each of those receivers?
Because
And
they're all going to be a little bit different, right?
they're going to be the actual sample times are going to be different. We don't, there's so we have discussed this and uh, um, there are, of course, well-known solutions and in the things like the red pitaya and the TRX Duo and some of I think the Flex and the Anon receivers all included the ability, dual channel inputs with synchronous clocks and phase lock samples. But we're
Yeah, but
trying
I
to,
mean, dual channels within one box. I mean, that's pretty easy to synchronize those.
yeah. But doing it the way with where only the clock is the same. There is a technique that was patented by HP, but the patent is expired, and Glenn N6GN has forwarded that patent to us for consideration and to Phil as a technique for doing this. So I know this is an area of interest in particular for Jim Lill and whatever he's working on. He wants to have not just 2 channels, but half a dozen or a dozen. And I think it's a really interesting problem. I think there's potentially solutions that don't require that they all be in the same box. And I think actually such solutions would be better than ones where they're all in one box because you'd be calibrating them all the time and potentially calibrating the antenna and transmission lines as well. And so I think that would be anyway, it's a great problem. I don't think anybody's, we've floated the idea around occasionally, but we haven't even gotten a new, a dual channel receiver out yet that is just usable. So I think it's down the to-do list, but
Is a dual channel receiver based on the chip that Tom McDermott was working on, the A to D was working with? Is that a useful path to pursue? It has, it's a 14-bit rather than a 16-bit A to D, but I do have the development stuff for that as well as the RX. I use the one where
I think I don't think the 14 versus 16-bit is well, I'm starting to think it's more important than I used to because I'm now bumping into dynamic range problems. In spite of what Phil says, I'm having trouble fitting signals the signals that are being presented to the A to Z. I'm having a hard time fitting them within the 16 bits. And in fact, at Paul's, we're getting a divide by 0 error because his local transmitter is keeping it out of overload. Most of the frequency bins go to 0. They go below 100 dB. So we get divide by 0 errors out of the FFTs.
Yeah, my location is a particularly
Not
difficult corner case, but
no,
it's
it is
good to
not a
have
corner
those.
case. It's not a corner case. Dave at DAS, right by WWV, is running up against the same problem.
Okay, well, it's near a corner, and it's good to have those
Yeah.
to find out what what the boundaries are.
Yeah.
But
So it's
there's always going to be a tougher one. I mean, so
well, the
but
one
more
solution.
dynamic range is better, obviously.
Well, one solution I wish we could do is to not go to 16-bit PCM. I mean, Phil does all his internal math in 32-bit float, and if we were to modify Whisper D and Edge 89 to accept 32-bit floats inputs, I don't know how they do their calculations internally though, but if they could accept those, and they retain the 32-bit float precision internally, then you could forget this AGC problem. I mean, if you keep the ADC out of overload, then after that you got floating point numbers and you know, you've got all the dynamic range you want. But so this stage of doing the conversion from 32-bit float to PCM to me is an issue. It'd be nice to be rid of, but it's not a trivial thing to get rid of. You have to get a lot of. It also doubles the bandwidth. You're now talking about 32-bit numbers instead of 16-bit numbers, and you know, it's like the transition from 16-bit CPUs to 32-bit CPUs. It's, you know, it's a mess and has all kinds of side effects. But that would be the. In the meantime, I've got to figure out how to adjust places like yours and make the 16-bit signals fit in the 16-bit PCM sample space. I can envision all kinds of projects, software development projects. This is another one, you know. I mean, Clint Turner wants 32-bit floats because he's doing his own signal processing, and he'd rather work with 32-bit floats and not lose precision by going to 16 and then back to 32. It's a so it's but anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I guess
We should
floats are still-
let you guys on the East Coast go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm starting to fade. So,
Yeah.
all
Thank
right.
you. Okay, so
Thank you very much.
Okay. So anyway, I think hopefully we got the right thing in terms of everybody understands kind of that you know, the ARC 888 is a Clementine 1A, and there'll be a Clementine, you know, a 0.1 or whatever, and we'll come up with a Clementine, the real Clementine, when we can get our own design built, whatever
That's
that may be.
wonderful.
Okay, that's I hope was the right message that was fits in with everybody's expectations. So okay. Good night, Nathaniel. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
You want me to
Okay,
leave this
okay.
on for you?
Yeah, leave it on for a minute. I think maybe Phil